What is up, guys? It is your boy Childish coming back with that next episode of Subscriber Showcase. I believe we're on episode 13. We're going to be showcasing Mara here. I'm not really sure what that name means, but we're going to call him Mara today. So, for those that don't know how these showcase work, basically we kind of do a quick rundown of the arena team, the pros and cons, what we think about it. Then we took a look at our team, think about how we're going to go ahead and counter his team, and then go ahead and run it in the arena. This is one of two ways. The other way allows anybody and everybody to get an opportunity to get showcased on my channel. What that entails is basically contacting me in my email address below and providing me with some basic information to allow me to hop on your account, showcase your units, and then allow me to do some summons for you. But it requires an epic fail story to be part of our team. So you can't get away without breaking it down and letting us all get a little laugh, because that's what we're all about, failures in my group. Yeah buddy. So again, that'll be in the comment section or the bottom of this video down below if you want to get in contact, and we'll go ahead and do that for you right away. Let's see here. So episode 13, let's get right into it. We have an interesting team, and of course this is, I say it interesting, but probably a little bit more common than some of you guys may agree or disagree with me. I see it a lot, but I see it a lot because I believe it works. So we're going to go ahead and show you what we got here. He uses a wind and water team comprised of Julian and Shimate being the leader, then Megan and Luir. Okay, and why do I see this team a lot? Because just kind of looking at the stats on the right and then the stats on the left, but the stats over here are not really too important, more so the rune set and the skill set. You would notice two things. Okay, 2 swift, 2 to spare. Okay, so it's going to be a nice balance of speed and control. As you can see from his stats, he's actually not really focused on damage at all. This team is, intentionally set up to get the upper hand, whether it's Megan with the attack gauge boost or Luir with the attack gauge debuff, and then of course utilizing the despair setting to lock the units down and continuously get it done. Even though they're rocking the despair, they're not going to have, obviously he got his DPS up pretty darn good. They're still not going to have the highest potential amount of DPS, but he kind of counters that with this ability here. Third one, Crime Alert, giving everybody the defense down the turn. So let's go ahead and go through this guy's runes here real quick. Obviously, most people have seen this one, Run Despair, but it just kind of depends on what you're trying to set up here. Obviously, he is going for speed, and speed alone. You will see here, you're probably like, what the F? What's going on? But again, speed is king with his setup. And of course, accuracy. He wants to make sure that even though he has the lead, he can land that defense breaker on all the units, because that is what's going to make up for the damage lost for speccing 2 units swift and 2 units despair. Okay, moving on to Megan. We have well over 200 speed there, 205, so we're going to be in trouble when it comes to getting the lead, and I believe his Luir also has more than Megan. So basically it's just going to come down to a lot of luck as far as what we can mitigate first round. But again, wow, look at that, 17 speed. Lucky him. Getting quite a bit of speed runes here and there. Looks good overall. Again, we can comment on the pros and cons of what we can do here, but again, you can tell that it's just about getting the lead, getting the debuffs, and letting these two do the work, because and mind you, it's basically one of those kind of RNG things. They need to do the work. They need to lock down the units right away and be able to continue that. right away. So you can tell that this Megan or this Luir, since they're so focused on speed, after the damage has been done with their buffs, if it has been done, if their stuff landed, they're not going to be too useful in the fight because they can't keep up with the damage. So let's see here, Shibate, looking good. For those that you guys know, Cyclone is the bad bitch when it comes to locking down a particular unit. I find myself attacking more team leaders or team wind and water based teams that even have Lucian or whatever like that with Shimate versus Tyron, because of course Tyron with the Despair set has 2 out of 3 chances for AoEs to land and lock down people right away, whereas he has a really high opportunity to lock me down with this skill, but it's 1 out of 3 still. So that's really the only con when it comes to the wind sylph on the defensive on the defensive side, in my opinion. On the offensive side, it's definitely a strong setting because you get to choose what skill you use, and obviously you're going to be utilizing this first one right from the get go every time. And then of course, there's nothing to be said bad about Julian. 3 ways to stun, in addition to this Despair set, and so really nothing to knock on here. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes because the Despair set is a 25% chance to stun across the board. But when it comes to his regular stuns, since he's so focused on attack on this, the substats on the accuracy are a little bit low. And again, I'm not talking about the accuracy with regards to the Despair set because that's not, that's irrelevant. But with regards to his skills, it's going to be a little bit on the lower side, and it's okay because it's essentially he's using this more kind of a hybrid for a little bit of stuns, a little bit of damage. But I guess one thing to kind of point out maybe is if since this particular unit, right, has the highest base attack out of all, maybe play around with it and see if you can go about getting the same much higher, especially when you get all these skills, skills maxed out or whatnot. You're going to be doing some good damage here. And seeing how that maybe helps your win-loss ratio. Because again, with half of your team focused on speed and getting the upper hand is good if you can back it up with some really strong DPS and crowd control. And with this one only having 1 of 3, it's very, very, it's just like kind of like my arena defense, which is basically my arena offense. In theory, it's all going to work really well, but it comes down to, the luck of the draw and seeing what happens. So at least, if you can't lock, the unit down every time early on, at least, with this one, getting a really hard hit and taking them down might be the way to go. So that'll be interesting to see if he ever plays around with that. But other than that, I can't talk any downside or find anything that I would really change because everything else looks pretty on point. Looks good. You can tell they're working on the runes. This kind of reminds me of one of my other vids. He's focusing on the 246 when it comes to getting the highest quality runes there. And again, you can see it right here. Definitely focused on getting the highest quality runes and getting those plus 12 ASAP. So these ones here definitely need to improve, but it's not as important as getting, obviously, the main ones here. You guys all know that. So let's go ahead and run it. As you can see, we have the 10% marker. So we need to go ahead and get right to it. This one here, I'm not really going to sit here and try to talk about, what can we do to, figure this out or whatever. This one is kind of one of those situations where no matter what I do, right, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. Actually, I will do this though, because I was supposed to make the change a while back, and I never did. So this is part of that other runes for progression video. Slap this on for a little resistance. All right, because at the time I didn't have any money, but now I got a little bit. So let's get right to it. So one would say here maybe with the majority of his, and we can go ahead and just run it like that. We'll go ahead and do it here since we got 3 out of our 4 units. wind, and his, basic DPS is all about wind, we'll go ahead and make a swap here. Reason being, even with Megan's or Jameer's lead, we know that we're going to be slower than him, so we're not going to get the upper hand any way we look at it. Why not attempt to provide a little bit of extra resistance for those stuns and still have the ability to reset and get the job done? So let's go ahead and play with it. You'll never see me do this again, but because he is so reliant on the stuns, we'll see what can happen here. So very, very nice as far as that extra 21% of resistance. Got lucky here with no stuns. This should be it, I believe, in my opinion. Obviously, we got extremely lucky when it comes to the utilizing of the AoEs, but we will take it. We will take it. So my apologies for not trying to showcase what I wanted. As I stated before, it is completely completely RNG, and for that particular fight there, we didn't get a showcase too much, but I think the theory was sound. At the end of the day, we couldn't, no matter what we can do, we couldn't outspeed him. So if we're still going to utilize the same setup, might as well get an opportunity to resist the stuns early on to allow us to attack and not get locked down. So, you're more than welcome to comment on the section below if you think that was the best route. But I think there's definitely other ways I could have gone about it. But that was kind of the thing that I thought early on. And again, I think it would have worked relatively well, but with his guys not utilizing his big AoE attacks, that's the downside of a setup like that doesn't have a lot of a spare base unit utilizing multiple AoEs or having the opportunity to use multiple AoEs like a Tyrant or something like that. But either way, still nice setup, still all a good look all around. Again, hopefully we'll get some more fights in here and see if we can get another video in. But for the time being, I'll go ahead and cut it off right there. So shout out to Mar. For those that are watching this, Mar actually sent the message to me about 9 hours ago, and I'm probably going to post this ASAP today. 9 hours ago, saying, hey, just want to let you know I found you on in the arena chat, and I'm going to go ahead and fight you. My IGN is this, and such. I saw the message, I took a look, I still had him on, and within 15 minutes I was able to make this video. So for those of you guys that are not currently on my friends list, that's one of the reasons why I keep one spot open for people to do the subscriber showcase, in addition to secret dungeons when I need it. So of course that spot will be reopened again after the video, but I just want to let you guys know that it's available to you if you see me and you want to be included in my next video. So thank you all for tuning in. Big shout out to Mar for letting us go ahead and make this video on his behalf. And we'll go ahead and close it off right there for episode 13 of Subscriber Showcase. It's your boy Childish from ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we'll see you next time.